Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Thanks so much for coming back. You know, we've discussed a few things, and in the last video I went over a recap of a couple of the videos we had done in our grand journey, and this particular one is really focusing on becoming your own waymaker and how key decisions affect each and everything that you do. So we've been very good at identifying things that affect you. I want now to go ahead and discuss another aspect of key decisions. I want to really focus in on something that a lot of times we forget, and yet when it's brought to our attention, it's like, wow, yeah, I forgot about that. It's really obvious. And what that is how do our key decisions affect those around us? What are the consequences that we face when we make key decisions? Or worse, when we choose not to make a key decision. As I said in the other videos, no decision is the worst thing you can do. Life will pass you by. So again, high five the fact that you've made a decision. It's amazing that you've done so, because you always can create a new decision. And even if it's been a great decision, you always can build on that so that it is more of a foundational decision, because it's more habit forming. Decisions, how they affect us, really have a reflection of how they affect other people. You want to see how your decisions are doing? Look at the people around you. Look at your family members. Look at all your friends, and see what type of reaction they have to the decisions you made. In business, if you've made a decision that's going to affect people's paychecks by altering a commission rate, I'm going to more or less guarantee you that they're going to have some sort of reaction to that decision. And if you're in your personal life and you've made a decision not to go on vacation, that's going to go ahead and affect the people in your lives if you cannot explain why you made that decision. And if that explanation is vague in either personal or business, people aren't going to buy it. So before you make a decision, you have to understand very clearly what the decision is, not only for you, but for those around you. If you're on your personal journey, which I know you are because you're here, your key decisions may not be accepted by those who don't want you to change. Be aware they exist. It's not that they intentionally want to see you fail. They don't want to be left behind. They may not know that, but that's a fact. So your decisions not only will affect personal and business as far as family and business, but you may also be highlighting friends who really aren't friends, because these people want to hold you back. They are also part of those that are going to be affected. You have to remember your decisions have consequences, and those consequences can be negative or positive. It's all about how you explain your decisions, if needed, how you live, which is definitely needed, your decisions, and how you understand that individuals and circumstances will change when you make these decisions. It's a guarantee they're going to change. So let's take a really good look at some of the ways these decisions can change. They can change your value system. They could change your own personal decision making. They could be life-altering. Now, I want to go ahead and just touch upon a short story of mine. And in my book, I tell more of my personal story, which really will allow you to understand that my decisions, my key decisions, as yours should be, are solely based on goal setting. I had to create a goal, because the life I was leading, I knew one thing. If I continued leading that life I led, that's all I was going to get. I might as well just hang it up, call it a day. It wasn't going to get any better. I was not living a productive life. I was not really living a safe life. I was more or less just allowing myself to exist. I didn't want that for myself. I chose not to have that for myself. And so what I did was I went out and I started setting up goals. I had 19 different goal sheets. I just wrote a whole bunch of stuff down. And then I went back and I read it. Some of it made absolutely no sense. Some of the things I wrote down in these different goal sheets allowed me to connect the dots. And then I had to reevaluate and reevaluate and reevaluate. And I recommend you do this. Just go ahead and write a bunch of things down on different pieces of paper. Even if you have to carry around a notebook, jot something down as you're thinking about it. Excuse me, and then plan a day that you're going to go back and revisit it. Pick a day of which, on a consistent basis, you're going to look at your thoughts and see how they are matching up with what you do. So that when you put down your first actionable game plan, it has some sense to it. So as you're going through this achievement of game plan, you're going to have to readjust it because guess what? It does not make sense all the time. As I stated earlier, things are moving. So a key decision to go ahead and have a game plan that's relative to your own growth is absolutely amazing. But understand that game plan, especially if you're starting to really change your whole entire life, will not be accepted in such a fantastic form and reaction of those quote-unquote friends or those you don't know, because perhaps you've made this decision before, but you haven't followed through and did anything about it. So consequences based on past behaviors, if we use this game plan as an example, are going to allow something very, very important, which is whether or not people buy your past habits. If habitually you tell people you're going to do something and you don't do it, then they're not going to listen to you. They're going to watch you, and they're going to watch each and every step you take. And it's going to take a long time before they actually understand that you are passionate about this. This is something you wish to do. This is a change that's important to you, because you're going to be on a journey to create your own way as you are now. You've got to create a goal system. But remember, the key decisions you make are not necessarily going to be accepted by all. So those decisions you make have to be true to you. And do you have behaviors? Are you strong enough in your beliefs of your goals to become your own way maker that you will not be swayed? Because it's easy to be swayed, but you have to hold your ground. You have to make sure that you do what you do. But be aware that you also need to change. You know, when things are not being achieved to your likeness, to your expectations. You know, you may like the path you're on, but you may not like what you're getting. So you have to change that. You have to realize another goal has to be added to your plan because you have to adjust. But as people are watching you, they're going to take those adjustments as, there they go again, he's not really going to follow through. So it's even more important that you understand the consequences of any change need to be followed up on, because commitment is not only imperative to your success, it's not only imperative to who you are, it's really imperative to those watching you. Because the more they start believing that you're on the right course, the more they start believing that you really are serious, they'll get on board. And if they don't get on board, then they never were there to support you to start with. We all have those people in our lives. Key decisions. Do you want them? Do you not want them? How bad do you want to go ahead and create a path for you? Create your own way. That not only is going to be a part of your excitement of life, it's going to reinvent you or nurture you. Or you can let those who don't want to come along affect who you are. When you look at it that way, you know what? You're giving your power up to those who want to keep you down. Or you're taking your power and creating a life you want. You are making your own way through key decisions. And you also understand that when you make your own way, not everybody's coming along for the journey. So you get to pick and choose. You get to pick and choose the consequences. You get to pick and through how consistent you're going to be. You're going to get to pick and choose you. You're going to start identifying who you are. You're going to snag that identity and start to see that what was really covered up is now a glimmer of hope when it comes to your character. You're going to start to find that you are really stronger than you thought. You're going to start to realize that as you create your own way, you have done nothing but excavated the real you. But you have to go ahead and have a goal, a plan, a set for key decisions to be made in a possible and probable and successful way. Yes, it's hard. Key decisions are hard, but you have to understand consequences. Positively or negatively are going to be based off your decisions. And it's okay if you make the wrong decision. Just be smart enough to go fix it. Be smart enough to understand it. Be you. Be happy what you are unfolding, unearthing. What are you starting to recognize of yourself? Because you have all of these abilities within yourself. Even if you don't think you do, they're there. Listen, celebrate, but understand. Every decision you make has a consequence. And you've got family, business, and you've got those friends who are watching who may not believe, and you have those that just don't want you to change because you're going to make them look bad. Those people you don't need. I'm so excited for the next part of our journey, and I want to thank you so much for all that you've done for yourself. Because it's not easy to change, but it's necessary if you're going to live. Thanks so much. Be excited, and talk to you later. Bye.